I cannot believe it. This is the final week of the fantasy football season, regular season. It is time for my final fantasy picks this season. I won last week. I'm 8-4. As of right now, I'm one game out of the playoffs. And the second place team, Tyler Jacobs, has the tiebreaker, at least I think, over myself and his victory over myself this year. So this could be my last fantasy pick for this year. Sorry about that. Fantasy picks. This week I am facing the first down syndrome. This is Tyler's little brother, Matt Jacobs. And this week I have quarterbacks Drew Brees against Andy Dalton, staying out from TCU. Brees is expected to win that one. Tavares Jackson against Kevin Cobb. Yes, I meant to say Cobb. Jackson expected to win that one. Ben Jarvis Greene Ellis, who had a great week last week against Darren Sproles from Who Dat? Saints. Greene Ellis expected to win that one. Reggae Bush. Every time I've said that, he's gotten over 10 points. Reggae Bush against Maurice Morris from Detroit. Reggae Bush expected to win that one. Flex player Jordy Nelson against Aurelius Ben from Tampa. Nelson expected to win that one. Packers on the road against New York Giants this week. I hope they lose. I hope they lose all the rest of the games so they don't make the playoffs. Jason Avant, who had a great week last week against Andre Johnson from Houston. And finally, after 5, right now I'm up 5-0. Andrew Jones. Why did I say that guy from Curacao? Andre Johnson is expected to win that one. Victor Cruz, who had an outstanding week last week against Titus Young. Cruz is expected to win that one. Marquise Colston, who had average week last week, no touchdowns, against the Mauer, Morneau, and Kadire of the Chicago Bears, Devin Hester. Colston expected to win that one. Kellen Winslow, for tight ends, against Brandon Pettigrew. And Matt Jacobs finally has another one, so now it's 7-2 in this one. Pettigrew expected to win that one. Defenses, we have the Falcons against the Lions, who are playing without Sue. Falcons expected to win that one. Janikowski against Ryan Longwell for the Kickers. Longwell expected to win that one. Although Janikowski kicked 6 field goals and an extra point last week, which I am so happy that happened. The Monsters are expected to win this one by a total of 119-73. Last week I did this, and this week I'm going to do it again, because I get a huge victory every time I do this. But I'm going to make another paper football of my fantasy picks. 2-0 in doing this. I'm going to go 3-0 in doing this and hopefully make the playoffs. Once again, a terrible kick. But anyway, 2 quick things before I'm out. Today on the show, we're talking about Ndamukong for his hit on Evan Dietrich Smith from the Packers. What he literally did was jammed his helmet on the ground like that and then came up and stomped him like that. Now, fans, I don't necessarily believe he meant to stomp on Dietrich Smith, but I definitely think he meant to stomp. And the fact that he did so on Dietrich Smith the refs did the correct thing in that situation. He should have been ejected. Also, I don't necessarily think a 2-game suspension is the correct way to go through this. The Lions need Sue. They need Sue. They need him. Necesito Sue. Pero, but he needs discipline. The Lions need to discipline their players because they have thrice been called dirty. At least thrice. And more stuff needs to happen with the team in general. Schwartz needs to impose more discipline on the players. So does Gunther Cunningham, and so does the offensive coordinator and other authority figures of the Lions. They need discipline. They want to be an elite football team. They're a good football team. They have potential of making the postseason, but they have to win. Coming off a long rest, I just have doubts that against New Orleans. I think New Orleans is gonna win that game by the score of 28-14. Sunday night football. Lions 1-0 in night games this year, but still, New Orleans Saints at the Superdome. I just see no way that the Lions can beat the Saints. 28-14, Saints win. Anyway, the other scenario, I wanted to talk about Syracuse assistant head coach Bernie Fine, who was fired last Sunday. I was considering talking about this situation last week, but I chose not to because I didn't think there was enough evidence to. Oh well, there wasn't enough hype. Let me say it that way. There wasn't enough hype to convince me to talk about him on this show, but now I'm very certain there is, and he was just fired Sunday. So about the Bernie Fine situation, he has four former ball boys from their basketball team have accused Bernie Fine of sexual assault, sexual harassment. Basically the same thing as Jerry Sandusky, rape. My opinion, Syracuse did the correct thing. He should have been fired. The real thing that really took him over was a videotaped recording by his wife, Lori, in 2002 that was talking about rape. And the correct thing was done. Bernie Fine should have been fired. Now. Now, yes, I said Joe Pa should have waited until the end of the season, should have ridden it out, but this time the weather was forecasted correctly. Fine should be fired and is, and I am happy for that. Soy mucho alegre para ti. Boeheim, my thoughts. He first said, and I quote, that it was a bank of 1,000 lies by Fine. And after he gets fired, he después, he says that he knew nothing about it. He didn't know anything about it. And just yesterday, or a couple days ago, the Chancellor of Syracuse says that she votes for Boeheim. And I tend to agree. Because Boeheim is an authority figure at Syracuse. He is probably the biggest name in Syracuse right now. And if he didn't know about the situation, then there should be nothing done to him. But if he's lying that he did know about the situation, out he goes at the end of the season or sooner. And besides that, yesterday Syracuse was playing Eastern Michigan. I like to call them the Emus because, get it? E-M-U, Eastern Michigan U, Emu. Anyway, they were playing the Emus last night and they whooped them. And when Syracuse, when Jim Boeheim went onto the court, he was treated to a standing ovation. It was at Syracuse. I give him my applause as well. Everybody applaud for Jim Boeheim in a standing ovation. And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Anyway, that was my garage. My mom just got home. Hey, Mama!
Where's your mother?
Oh, that was my dad.
It's me.
Mom's at practice.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so those are my thoughts on Boeheim and Fine, and see you next week.